There's a lot of questions, and I want to be able to answer them quickly so that we can go on to other questions. In terms of organizing the unemployed, I think that, which Austin raised, I think it has to be a top priority to organize the unemployed because the unemployed are going to stay unemployed. They're not coming back to work. We're in the recovery phase of the capitalist economy. That's why they had the $1.8 trillion in surplus cash. But they're not, the unemployed are going to remain unemployed. That's why we have to go back to the 30s where I mentioned the analysis of the Great Depression. The capitalist system's not working. It's not going to start working absent something big like a war, like a big war. And so the unemployed became a pivot to the strategy of organizing the working class in the 1930s when workers carried out general strikes in Toledo, Ohio, and San Francisco, and Minneapolis, Minnesota, all in 1934. And the other big strikes, the Communist Party and the other organizations of the left organized the unemployed to become mass picketers to support the workers. Why? There's a practical problem. If you're unemployed and there's a strike, the bosses are finally willing to give you a job, to come and be a strike breaker. You have to organize the unemployed so that they stand with the employed workers to fight against the common boss, even though the unemployed don't have an immediate interest because they're not working. We have to forge the next labor movement, the new labor movement, because the current labor movement is clearly not succeeding. Has to be a political labor movement based on organizing the employed workers, the unemployed workers, and all the people in the communities, and the students and youth who are being defuturized because they can't go to college, can't go to school, and know that there's not going to be a job. That has to be, I think, a top priority for our movement. And it's not easy, but it has to be done. We have to find imaginative ways to do it. Also, we know a lot of workers are losing their heat and light because, as one of the comrades earlier mentioned, once you can't pay the utility bill, they'll cut you off. So you lose your job, or you're deciding, am I going to buy food, or am I going to pay the electric bill? And the electric bill is based on monopoly pricing. The prices have doubled and tripled in the last few years. So a lot of those people are unemployed. Let's organize a class-wide movement of employed and unemployed together and use the strength of the organized labor movement. Instead of giving $100 million to the Democratic Party, do it to organize the unemployed and all those people who are fighting on the social justice issues. I'll let other people jump in on some of the other questions. In terms of the young versus old, I am old. So in terms of the people who got active in 1968, I'm one of them. I'm not, we want older people, even people my age. But comrades, we need to train the next generation of young people, not because success is guaranteed. Yes, in 1968, we were all very, very young, and we didn't make the socialist revolution, although I thought for sure we would in the next year or two. I thought we'd be dead of the government, but that prognosis was a bit off. But nonetheless, the young are the ones who are going to who have the energy and the leadership. You look at the average age of the Cuban Revolution when it happened, it was young. It was very young. The average age of the Bolshevik Central Committee in 1917 was 26. Marx and Engels wrote the Communist Manifesto when they were 27 and 28. I met the first ambassador to the People's Republic of Yemen, which was South Yemen, formerly a socialist country, in 1973. He was younger than me, and I was 22. I mean, it's a movement of dynamic young revolutionaries, of course, aided and assisted in working with the people of all generations. So it's not putting down anybody my age or your age or older people, but we're building a new vibrant movement of the youth and training a new generation of leaders.